Everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Thursday edition of Today in Sports Betting, taking a look at the NFL. And Scott, as usual, we have a dynamite barn burner of a Thursday night game. Oh man, it's a battle there in the NFC least because somebody's got to win that division. Scott, is it possible we're going to have a team that's 6-10 win the NFC East? Can that really happen?
Either 6-10 or 5-11-1. Yeah, you definitely have a couple possibilities there. Simply put, the team not 5-11-1,
5-10-1.
5-10-1. Sorry. Yeah, I realized in my head they didn't add up, but it's definitely possible. This division's probably the worst division I've ever seen. I've seen a couple of divisions with teams losing records involved, teams at 500, etc. This is easily the worst division of my lifetime.
Yeah, even when Seattle made the playoffs a few years back at 7-9, they won their first game.
The Marshawn Lynch Beastquake game. You've had a couple of NFC East teams that have been around 500 or something like that, but this is easily the worst division I've ever seen.
Yeah, the division leader just got beat by what, 30?
Division leader got beat by about 30, and reports came out that the coaches aren't teaching them anything and that the players hate the coaching staff for not doing anything, yet they're winning the division. So I don't really know what to make of that, but definitely unique territory. You can roast McCarthy and everybody all you want because his team isn't going to win anything and they're not very good, but the Cowboys are winning the division, so it's a war of attrition out there.
Well, I will say in fairness to us, Scott, when we did our preview back in the prime COVID days of spring, when we talked about the NFL preview, we hated McCarthy. We hated this hire. We thought it was stupid, and
I thought there was some upside, but it was mostly just questions about the defense, which has been worse than I even thought it would be.
Yeah. That's world class bad right there. But you know what? Let's talk about two of the teams chasing them. That's what we got tonight. It's the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are a 4.5-point favorite. Total is 45 in this game, Scott. I don't know. The Eagles are going to get Deshaun Jackson back for, whatever he plays, a quarter or so. So that should be exciting. No, I mean, he's supposed to be full strength. I'll believe it when I see it. It's just, I don't know how many games he's missed in the last 2 seasons, but it's been
he's probably played a total of around 4 games.
I was going to guess 4. That was going to be my number is the number of games that he's actually taken the field for.
Which is somehow surprisingly more than Alshon Jeffrey. So you can read into that as, however you want.
That's terrible. And Wentz is having a terrible year, but, when you don't have anybody to throw to.
I actually can't blame Wentz at all for most of what's happened. He didn't look good in the beginning of the year. That offensive line, which is normally a strength, has been awful all year long.
Well, they've been hurt. So.
Of course. I'm not saying that, at full strength, but just in general, they've been terrible. The receiving core is non-existent. Fulgham came out of nowhere before he showed up. This team had nothing. Ertz has been
injured. Out of nowhere. He was on the practice squad 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, so. Ertz has been injured all year. Now he's on IR. He was playing through injury, but it wasn't very good. Goddard is out. Miles Sanders is out. Considering the circumstances, I know that Eagles fans kind of want Carson Wentz's head. He's kind of been the only reason why they've been competitive for the last 2 weeks against some really good teams in the AFC. I haven't sold on my Wentz stock yet. I still think he's pretty good. I just think that he's in a situation where he's kind of set up to fail, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Scott, I don't see any choice here, but I'm going to go with the team that showed me a little something on occasion, which is the Eagles. They've played, I don't know, Scott, what, one and a half good games. They
the 49ers win was impressive, but they
also solid outing in San Francisco.
They're also against Mullins, who threw the easiest pick 6 of all time in the fourth quarter or the second half, which definitely helped. But Pittsburgh, undefeated team, they trailed by 3 with maybe 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, they played the Pittsburgh tie, which they usually do. That's often a pretty tight game there.
And then they also Baltimore. They're getting blown out. They had a nice little rally there in the fourth quarter before that awful 2-point conversion play. But I mean, they're hanging tough against 2 of the toughest teams in the AFC. I gotta think that even though they lost, there's some optimism there because they've actually been hanging tough against tough opponents.
Yeah, and that's the Giants have showed really none of that.
They beat Washington last week. Congratulations. Daniel Jones had roughly 100 yards pass.
Yeah, he's I don't know what the answer is there. I'm not sure it's Daniel Jones. I'm not sure it isn't Daniel Jones.
I think we would agree that if Washington kicks the extra point, it goes to overtime. Washington's probably winning that game.
Yeah, probably. But this is another team that's down. A ton of people.
They are getting Sterling Shepard back, which is an addition to the receiving corps. But I don't know if that matters when you can't protect Daniel Jones and he isn't that good.
No, you should. Sterling Shepard's coming back. When tonight?
Yeah.
Not tonight. I've still got him listed as out. Scott, is he?
From what I heard is I thought he was returning today. I'll check. I'll check
right on that because I've still got him listed on IR. So
I thought he was coming off IR today.
Okay, well, we'll take a look at that. CJ Board is out. That was their third wide receiver, basically.
Yeah, according to the Giants, October 20th, Shepard was designated for return, and he was practicing, so he should be playing today.
Well, ESPN needs to update then.
I can't say it's official that he's going to play, but there's a decent chance.
Terrible job, ESPN. I don't think it matters.
ESPN's the worst when it comes to injury reports, so I wouldn't follow that at all.
You know what? NFL doesn't have them up this year.
I usually just use Twitter. I just try to rely on some local reporters, stuff like that.
I usually use NFL because they've usually got the up-to-date information. For some reason, the NFL has no injury reports up this year. I don't know why. It's very frustrating. So, yeah. So very good. All right. So Sterling Shepard will be back. Does that matter to you? Is that you got Giants fever now?
No. I think that Jason Garrett's offense has already showcased how awful he is as a coordinator. The team is useless offensively. I know they won last week. Their game-winning touchdown came from a fumble recovery touchdown. Daniel Jones at 100 yards passing in 2020. This team is really bad offensively. And the Eagles, their defense isn't very good, but against the Giants' quote-unquote weapons, I think the Eagles' defense should hold its own. I think that the Giants' defense is okay. I'd say it's surprisingly decent, but Wentz is 6-1 in his career against the Giants. He seems to kill this team every time they play. I know that this year's team is weaker than normal. You can make the same argument about the Giants. I'm going to go with the Eagles. It's realistically a must-win game for Philly. I know that they're one game behind in the division, so it might sound a little bit ridiculous that I'm calling this a must-win game. If you look at who Philly's playing in the upcoming weeks, this is a must-win game for Philly because their schedule is really difficult for the next couple of weeks. Just to break it down, they play the Giants this week, of course. Next week, they play the Cowboys. The week after, they play the Giants again. So those 3 weeks are fine. After that, Browns, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Cardinals, Cowboys, Washington. So they have a couple of weeks in the middle there. Browns, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Cardinals. That's not great.
No.
When it comes to trying to, I'd say, pick up their season, etc. So these next 3 weeks in division games are very important for the Eagles. If they even go 1-2 in those games, it might be a wrap. So for that reason, I expect them to come out, especially at home against the Giants. I think they'll take care of business, probably win by 7. I'll go with the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't see any way around this. You just hold your nose and take the Eagles. I don't think the Giants are bettable in this spot. I'm be interested, maybe a little prop action there about big wins for Philadelphia. You can take them minus 13 at plus 140 or minus 1 to 13 at plus 142. And if you want to get real ballsy, you could take them 14 plus as a victory margin there at plus 260. Probably not interested in that, but I think Eagles winning it from 1 to 13 at plus 142 has some value. So I'd probably play that as well. But I don't see anything. I don't see anything to like about this Giants matchup in this game. So.
Now I know that Washington's defense, to backtrack with the Giants, Washington's defense I'd say is decent. They have a good pass rush, etc. But looking at the performance last week, Giants had 20 points. I already mentioned how they really only had 13 because you had the fumble touchdown late in the fourth quarter. But going through the actual team stats here, Daniel Jones, 12 for 19, 112 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Now, running the ball, they were actually pretty good, but that was only because Daniel Jones had 1 carry for 49 yards, which threw everything, out of whack. Devontae Freeman averaged 3.4 yards per carry. Jones can run a little bit, but he had the 49-yard carry outlier. The leading receiver for the Giants was Slayton with 41 yards. Yeah, not good. So I think the Eagles clearly have the better quarterback. I think you make the argument that the weapons are kind of even now with Philly being injured, but I don't know if that matters because Daniel Jones and Jason Garrett's offense has been so bad all year long. And if you take the Cowboys game out of the equation where there was a defensive touchdown, they ended up scoring 27 in that game from offense alone. Take that game out, they've scored 16 points or less offensively in every other game this season. They can't score.
Yeah, this is a team. Usually, you'll see a team that, when they don't do one thing well, they'll do something else. They'll do the other thing better. Like
they don't do anything well.
If it's a team that doesn't run,
they can throw really well. Stuff.
Yeah,
you see that in college
they throw for 300 yards a game.
You see that in college a lot. Sometimes in the pros. This Giants team can't run and they can't pass. So I don't know what they're going to do.
30th in each, Scott. 30th in each. They're 30th.
Jason Garrett.
30th in rush yards per game, 30th in pass yards per game.
That's why I got to lean Eagles, because it's a matter of, do I trust the Giants to actually sustain long drives? And the answer is no. And the Eagles, even though they haven't been great from an offensive line perspective, at least they can move the ball.
You think that's why they hired Jason Garrett? Do you think in the interview they go, tell us the number one thing you're going to bring to the team? He says consistency.
Balance.
I'm going to make you 30th in the run, and I'm going to make you 30th in the pass. I think
I'll bring balance to the offense. But I don't know. It was a matter of when the Giants made the move, I thought to myself, yeah, you're going to bring in Jason Garrett and Freddie Kitchens to work part of the offenses. Congratulations. Good luck to you. Yeah. And what do you know? This offense stinks. But I'm going to go with Philly. I don't know if home field matters that much because Philly's been awful in Philly. But if you lose this game and you're Philly, I don't want to say your season's over because this division's awful, but Peterson might get fired mid-year. Like, this is really, really bad if Peterson loses this game.
Yeah, agreed. There's no reason to draw this out, Scott. It's all about the Phillies for us. We see nothing.
I remember last year, just for an example, I'm pretty sure I think it was last year, the Eagles played against Green Bay. And there were rumors that that Peterson was on the hot seat, et cetera. And then they won in Lambeau, I believe, on Thursday night. I think that was last year. So we've been in similar spots before. Eagles, I don't want to say that they rally for their coach, but on Thursday night games, they tend to perform pretty well. And against the Giants, I think they should perform well. So I'll go with the Eagles.
Yeah, that was a Thursday night 34-27 victory over Green Bay. That
was last year, though, right?
Yep, it was. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We're on the Eagles here. Nothing to like about the Giants. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, and as for a total, I know I gave out a play of the day a couple days ago on I'd say a hybrid alternative like team total option there. For the sake of the game, though, I would lean under. I know that you have thoughts on the total as a premium, so I'm not going to ask you. But for the sake of this game, it's at 45. If the Giants have scored 16 or less offensively in 5 of their 6 games, then you're expecting the Eagles to score what, like 28 points?
Yeah.
30 points? I don't see that happening. So I think this game should probably finish around 24-17.
Okay.
That'd be my guess if I had to guess the score.
All right, there you go. So that's it, everybody. Rachel's leaning under. We're both all over the Philadelphia Eagles again. We do have premium picks for sale. Myself, if you're interested in getting hooked up with those, we've been running pretty good on the premium side. A little 6-1 run over our last 7. So no time like the present as we start to heat up here with the NFL season. If you want to get down on that, just check out winnersandwhiners.com and go to the experts tab. Click on me, and we'll get you hooked up. All right. Any final thoughts on this one, Scott? Get it over fast.
It's a pretty fitting game for Thursday night football.
I'll be watching the college game. I'm going to be honest with you. Or the debates. Well, speaking of which, I think you and I finally decided on a date for we're going to do our political show. This is going to be all about betting on the political races. It's going to have nothing to do with how we lean, or we're not going to turn it into a screed on the current state of politics, who we like, who we don't like. This is completely from a betting angle, and I believe we're going to do that next Tuesday, which would be a week from Election Day. So we're going to talk about the presidential race and how to make a little money there, and we're going to talk about some of the Senate races as well. So mark your calendars for that. Scott and I are going to be doing the political betting show next Tuesday. So yeah, that's it for me. This will be the third thing I'll be watching here, this Giants and Philly game. But we are all over the Philadelphia Eagles in this one. So If you want even a deeper dive, and you will find no deeper dive anywhere on the internet, do check out winnersandwhiners.com. Especially on the Monday, Thursday night games, you will be amazed and astounded with all the information that is available. So check that out as well. Scott, I don't envy the guy that had to write 20 pages on this game. I really don't. That's a tall task right there, my friend.
If I was doing 20 pages on this game, I'd probably demand a raise.
No kidding. It's a special NFC rate.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. All right. So for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com, we appreciate you watching. Don't forget to click on the next video. Scott and I are going to be doing our college show a little bit early, so we check out our thoughts on college football. But for this one, that's a wrap. You guys, thanks very much for watching. We appreciate it. Drop something in the comment section. Let us know what you're playing. And we hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money. All right. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.